So, why is it important for us to bridge the cultural gap, embrace ourselves in a new culture, especially in a more globalized world? Just to give you a little background on me, I'm Dorsa Heidari. I'm 100% Iranian, but I was raised in a little country called Kuwait in the Middle East, where I had the opportunity to attend an international school that followed the British curriculum. Over there, I was given many opportunities to meet many new people from all around the world. I was then given the opportunity to extend my studies further and come to the University of Essex, where I even met people from even more remote parts of the world. By now, you might think, oh, she's seen it all, she's heard it all, she's met them all. But I would like to tell you otherwise, that no, it never ends. No matter how many people you meet, there's always something new. As we live in a more interconnected and globalized world, a lot of us are held back by fear, whether it be fear of traveling or fear of a new culture or a different language, different customs, a lot of different things, or simply just fear of stepping out of our comfort zone. But what if we decide to change that? What if we decide to push our boundaries, immerse ourselves into new cultures, and learn from people who call it home? By bridging the gap, we can learn many different things about culture. I'm going to give you a few different examples here. Firstly, we can not only gain a deeper understanding and appreciation of culture and the people who live around us who are different from us, but also we can learn to develop new feelings such as empathy, such as emotions and compassion and respect for those who are different to us. This could also be an opportunity for growth, whether it be personal growth that we're talking about, whether it means that you might meet your business partner if you were to move abroad, or someone might just pitch a new idea to you and you might want to take that on board, or even an idea of a romantic relationship. Again, this all just shows the importance of bridging the cultural gap. Well, you might ask, how can we do this then? Especially in a world where it's so hard to, despite our differences, bring ourselves together to create similarities between us and overcome those fears. Yes, it's so easy to just get on the plane and go to the next country, but it's not easy to mentally do that. It's not easy to actually push ourselves to do that. First step to take when overcoming your fear is to recognize and accept the fear that you're having. Try and understand, where is this coming from? What is it that's scaring me? I can think of a few different things that I personally went through when I first came here. It was not till I went to my first British pub in the UK, and I just ordered a classic cuisine, can't remember what it was called now, but they brought me gravy sauce, and then my friend ordered something else, and she got gravy sauce too, and it was just like, over the days coming, I saw, okay, it seems like gravy is put on everything over here. One of the weirdest combos to this day I saw was just putting chips on gravy. I don't know why, there's all these different sauces out there, but they love their gravy over here. Another thing that some of you may be able to resonate with me was the British humor. The British humor is so particular, and everyone knows that. When I first came here, I just thought everyone had it out for me. Everyone hated me, everyone was being rude for me. But in fact, that's not it. That's just how they like to try and connect, try and make you feel comfortable, actually, even though that was not making me very comfortable. But it's things like that that we need to understand and learn and get accustomed to. Which takes me to my second point. It's another way that you can bridge the culture gap is to stop and prepare for it. Before you're getting on that train, before you're about to get on that plane, just stop yourself and be like, how can I make my journey easier? How can I prepare to overcome the fears? You can only do this by getting accustomed to the language, to the beliefs, to the traditions, to the norms, and all of the other things that comes with it when traveling. For example, if you're an anxious flyer, you can mentally prepare for it. I have a friend who's an anxious flyer who, even if it means going to the next city, who speaks the same language. Another friend of mine is just simply scared of going into restaurants and ordering food in the language of the country because they're scared that they're going to offend them if they speak in their language. Another friend is simply scared to even order in English because they don't want to disrespect them. So there's this whole battle that we're always fighting about, well, how can we please them? But there is no way. The fact that you're there, you're trying to explore and you're trying to learn from these people, it's what matters the most. It's the part that connects us with each other and shows that we are interested. And when people see that you are interested and you are willing to learn, then that is what matters the most. That is what's gonna make them be excited about having people in their country and learning about their culture. You might be thinking that this is all too much, you're giving us too much information, it's overflow, we don't know how to deal with it. But believe me when I tell you that it's all going to be worth it when you're sitting on that bench in the middle of the square, enjoying a ripe fruit and enjoying the breeze and just loving the fact that you're not at home and enjoying every second of it. So what if in France they like to eat snails and frogs, and in the UK they love black pudding, and in the Middle East having a sheep's head is a famous dish? Yes, that might make some people uncomfortable, but when we talk about the importance of bridging the cultural gap, it is not about making sure that we partake in every experience, but it is about making sure that we respect them despite not wanting to partake in it. When I first moved here, I was scared of the experiences. I was scared of not being able to fit in. Growing up in Kuwait, although some people might think it was very similar to my culture, it was still very far from home. So sometimes I felt like I didn't belong there necessarily. But then when I would go to Iran, I felt like I didn't belong there either. I was always in this whole mishap of never belonging anywhere, never really having a place to call home. So you just have to learn to, especially learned this when I moved here, you have to learn to adapt to the new places. You have to bring a little bit of yourself and then assimilate it to the cultures over here. Growing up in Kuwait, in an international community, I realized that the British culture that I was brought up with was nothing like the one over here. It was completely different. And then that made me quickly realize that that's probably true. My teachers, my peers, everyone else back home had probably had to leave a little bit of their life behind before coming to Kuwait and had to assimilate there. The final and the third step that I always like to recommend to people is start small. Start by traveling to a country that has similar beliefs as yours, or even speaks a similar language or similar food. That way you can slowly expand and push your boundaries. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us travel, let us push our boundaries, let us explore. Let us be bold and curious and immerse ourselves in different cultures and push our boundaries. In a world that we often feel divided, it is important for us to realize what unites us in a global community. Let us work for the future generations and let them be curious and travel. Thank you.